Hey, welcome back to Nomad Life Success. I'm Aria Reyes. Let's get real about this. I once took a retainer because the money looked great, only to discover the contract required a client-signed document that I couldn't provide from the country I was in, and that little mismatch nearly derailed my visa. My stomach dropped. I called my contact and we scrambled for a week. Not fun. That's why today I'm walking you through a 6-question client fit filter you can use in 30 seconds to decide yes or no fast. This is operational screening guidance, not legal or immigration advice. For complex visa questions, consult a licensed professional. Ready? Here's the blueprint that actually works. Quick promise. By the end of this episode, you'll have 6 concrete questions, a simple 0 to 2 scoring rubric, clear yes-no thresholds, and 2 scripts you can say word for word to keep your income steady and your mobility protected. I'll share short real-world vignettes, so this isn't theory. There's a checklist in the show notes and a scoring sheet you can download. Freedom isn't luck, it's strategy, and your freedom journey starts with this one move. Before we dive in, here's how the filter works. Ask 6 questions, score each from 0 to 2. 2 means a clean yes, 1 means conditional or fixable, 0 means a clear no. Add the scores. 12 is ideal, 8 plus is usually safe, 6 and below means you should politely decline or pivot. But I don't want you to turn into a robot. Allow 1 low score exception per month with a time-boxed review. Treat this as an operational tool, not a legal checklist.
Question 1. Payment corridor. Ask, how will you be paid and through which bank or platform? Red flags are domestic-only payments that assume you're in country, or payment routes that block international transfers. A 2 is payment via international bank transfer, Wise, Payoneer, or credit card processor with clear timelines. A 1 is client wants local transfer but offers a documented fallback like PayPal or a time-bound workaround. A 0 is they require an account in their country or insist on cash or checks that won't clear abroad. Short fallback phrasing. I work through preferred platform. Can we route payments that way? It keeps billing reliable while I travel. You can be direct and still polite. This is about protecting both of you.
Vignette. I had a client in Europe who wanted local SEPA transfers only. I flagged the payment corridor, suggested using Wise for Euro transfers, and they agreed. That single question prevented a 3-week payment delay when I moved from Asia to Latin America. Little fix, big protection.
Question 2. Time zone and overlap. Ask, what overlap do you expect? Be specific. Say, I accept X hours of live overlap per week, outside of which I operate async. Decide your acceptable overlap before calls start. My personal rule is up to 3 hours per week for retainers and a 2-week pilot window for anything that needs more. Score 2 if the client accepts a clear async first workflow with defined overlap. Score 1 if they request more overlap but offer a pilot or premium rate. Score 0 if they demand daily real-time presence or on-call hours that would lock you to a region.
I operate async first and hold 2 core hours for live meetings per week. If we need extra overlap for a launch, we can time box that into a 2-week sprint. Does that work for your timeline? That phrasing frames your request as productivity focused, not difficult. Question 3. Visa and documentation fit. Ask early, will this role require invoices or contracts tied to a local presence or paperwork that assumes domestic employment? A 2 is client only needs a standard contractor invoice or a contract signed electronically. A 1 is they may ask for extra documents but are open to alternatives. A 0 is they require tax residency statements, local payroll, or employer declarations that conflict with remote contractor status. Script to flag risk. Before we proceed, can you confirm whether the contract will require any local employment paperwork or tax residency forms? I want to make sure we stay compliant. That keeps you aligned without sounding like you're avoiding work.
Quick vignette. Once a client asked for a notarized proof of employment letter, I paused, asked the documentation question, and we discovered their procurement required local vendor setup that would have forced me into payroll. I declined politely and suggested a referral. That saved my visa and my sanity.
Question 4. Delivery cadence and scope. Ask,
What are the deliverables, deadlines, and revision expectations? Is the work async deliverable-based or a continuous real-time service? Score 2 if scope is clearly defined, with milestones and an acceptance window. Score 1 if scope is mostly clear but needs a pilot. Score 0 for vague, just be available requests, or open-ended daily tasks. Contract phrase to protect mobility. We'll agree milestones and an acceptance window for deliverables so I can plan reliably across locations. If scope expands, we'll scope and price the change. Put this in writing. Scope creep is a mobility killer. A trick I use: include a one-paragraph mobility clause in proposals. Short, neutral language, noting work is delivered digitally and timeframe expectations. That single sentence sets the tone before you even touch the contract. Question 5. Privacy and data risk. Ask, will the work require handling personal data, region-locked systems, or sensitive client systems? Score 2 when the client has clear data handling expectations and is willing to sign a basic data addendum. Score 1 if there are manageable workarounds. Score 0 if they expect you to access restricted local systems or handle regulated personal data without compliance support. Quick screening language. Does this project involve regulated personal data or access to region-restricted systems? If so, let's outline what that access will look like and any compliance steps. That keeps you out of risky legal territory. Question 6. Contingency cost and reputation risk. Ask, what happens if you or they can't deliver? What's the backup plan and cost? Score 2 if there's a clear contingency plan, escrow, or backup resource. Score 1 if there's an informal plan. Score 0 if there is no plan and the client assumes you'll absorb all risk. Ask plainly, if I'm unavailable due to travel or emergencies, what does success look like? Do we have a backup or contingency budget? This reveals hidden liability and reputational exposure. Example, I turned down a project with shiny scope because the contingency answer was nothing. No backups, no escrow, and penalties for missed timelines. That client later publicly complained when their in-house team missed a deadline. Protect your reputation by asking the contingency question up front. Okay, 2 scripts you can use immediately. First, polite decline. Use this when the score is 6 or below and you want to preserve the relationship. Say, thanks so much for the opportunity. Your project is exciting. Based on the requirements, I don't think I'm the best fit right now because of X. I'd be happy to recommend someone who fits this scope or to check back in if the needs shift. Short, respectful, and referral forward. Second, pivot offer. Use this when some elements are fixable and you want to keep the lead. Say, I can make this work with a short pilot and 2 adjustments. First, we'll route payments through platform. Second, we'll timebox overlap to hours per week. If the pilot goes well, we convert to a retainer. Want to try a 2-week pilot at a reduced rate to test fit? That frames the ask as productivity-focused and low risk for both sides. Now, 30-day micro-test. For the next 30 days, apply the filter to every incoming lead. Score them, log the result, and commit to one of 3 actions: accept, pilot, or decline with a referral. Track signals, fewer late payments, fewer scope changes, and better vacation flexibility. I promise you'll notice the difference in 2 weeks. Your inbox will stop being a chaos engine and become a pipeline. Where to find the free scoring sheet and scripts? The client fit checklist and the scoring sheet are in the show notes at nomadlifesuccess.com. Download it, print it, and try the microtest this week. Small investment of time, big returns for your freedom. 3 quick takeaways. 1, ask these 6 questions early, not after you've already said yes. 2, use the 0-2 rubric and allow 1 exception with a time-boxed review so you don't overfilter. 3, use the polite decline and pivot scripts to keep relationships alive and referral-friendly. Trust the process. You've got this. Final note, this tool is operational, not legal. If a client's paperwork might affect your immigration or tax status, get professional advice. But for day-to-day lead screening, this filter will save you time, protect your mobility, and help you convert good fit prospects into stable retainers. Okay, If this episode helped you, go grab the Client Fit Checklist at nomadlifesuccess.com. Try the 30-day microtest and tell me what changed in your inbox. Your freedom is closer than it feels. Let's keep building it. Thanks for listening. Let's build that 6-figure life together.